you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, DirtFish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Indy car? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde coming at you. And I got to say, Amy, I know we've talked about it before, but it is time for some new intro music.
I know, totally. And, yeah, that's just getting old. I think people know how to say my last name by now. So
yeah, I know that's on the to-do list. I think we both have talked about it. It is right up there. Like, it needs to be changed in the next week or two. So
we got to do something together, though. Like, yeah. I got to make a trip down to Arizona with my bike once we get my suspension and everything set up so I can also hightail it to California. But we got to do some stuff together where we're actually not in two different countries filming things or doing projects, you know, from two opposite ends of the country. So, or from the continent, I guess. So, yeah, we definitely got to link up and, you know, do some promo shots. We got to get out to the desert with your truck and my bike and, you know, come up with some cool content when we're actually together because, you know, we don't really get that opportunity very often.
Well, and the only time we're ever together is when we're at an event and things are crazy. I mean, Terracross, and we're both racing and doing radio, or Vegas, and I've got a million things going, and we're doing radio, and it's like we've never actually been in the same spot where we can actually just hang out and do some fun stuff. You know what I mean? It's it's always just running a million miles an hour in every which direction. So I agree. Yeah, we gotta collaborate on some stuff some more. So that definitely needs to happen this year for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how the weather is in Winnipeg, but I got to tell you, it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit here in Arizona. I have no idea what that is in Celsius, but it is warm. It is definitely shorts weather here. So it's
well, right now it's actually 4 degrees and sunny, but it's supposed to be 14. And actually, as soon as I hang up the phone from the show today, I am loading my bike up and I'm heading out to the sand pits here, and I am going riding. So I can't wait. I got to break my bike in a little bit more, but. You know, as soon as there's like an inch of good weather, all my friends load our crap up and we head out riding. So it's we're super diehards, and it's exciting to finally have some nice weather here. And unfortunately, actually, speaking of nice and crappy weather, my motocross school this Saturday is canceled and moved till Sunday. So it's supposed to be like raining and snowing on Saturday, but then like 30 degrees nicer the next day. So we're actually flipping my motocross school to Sunday. So kind of sucks. Like here, you can't even like look at the weather channel. It changes within the hour. It's crazy.
It's nuts. All right, hey, we got to take a short commercial break. We come back. Amy Houde, Jim Beaver, we're going to be coming at you with even more Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde coming at you. Special show this week, pushed back a little bit, but gotta give a shout out to all our listeners. Appreciate you guys supporting us, not on a traditional day, but moving things back, and especially all the support we get from Sports Byline USA, Fox Sports, Race Day Nation, Performance Motorsports Network. I don't know. I think last time we ran numbers were available on well over 30 to 50 networks at this point in time, and like over 500,000 listeners. So couldn't do it without you fans. You guys definitely, drive the show. And like Amy and I have said, you ever want to see an interview or hear an interview, you ever have any questions, definitely hit us up. That being said, we are going to have a Q&A segment later on in the show. Hit me with your questions at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, Instagram, however you want to do them, and we'll definitely get those questions plugged into the show. So
I love the questions. I love the fan engagement and hearing from what people have to say and their questions. It's always cool. I love when people tune in every week, and I love getting the direct messages when people, send me messages after or before the show and want to hear something. It's cool. I thoroughly enjoy it. And it's funny because I reply to pretty much everybody. If it's not something super weird and off track and kind of like way out there, I always reply to people, and it's so funny because usually the first thing they say is, "Oh my God, I did not even think that you're going to reply back to me." But yeah, of course, I'm a regular human being, and I totally read all my comments and all my messages, and I love to reply back to people. So hit me up. I'm all for it.
Yeah, if you guys are bored and you just need to kill some time and there's nothing on Netflix, seriously, just skip over to Amy's comments and read them below her posts. I mean, it's entertainment right there. It's quite comedic. Sometimes it's not exactly PG rated, but it's quite funny. You have some engaged fans.
And the best comments are, A, what kind of bike do you ride? That's a really nice 450, and I love your Suzuki. You guys, it is the 60th anniversary Yamaha edition, okay? Just because it's yellow doesn't mean it's a Suzuki. And I'm about 110 pounds. I do not race a 450. come on, people, put your heads together. It's so funny. And it's even funnier when I see my dad on there commenting back to people, she's 100 pounds, why would you ride a 450? That's a Yamaha. You guys are all idiots. It's hilarious. My dad actually goes on and replies back to people. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, how's your dad about, I mean, this whole thing? Obviously, dads all want their daughters to be successful. I mean, he's got to be amped on, your social media following. I mean, what you've done on a bike, he's got to be just pumped. I mean, we're talking about, one of the best, Canadian riders, I guess, ever. I mean, as far as, the Canadian National Series goes, I mean, it's got to be pretty amped on your career.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's the over 40 world champion is, just an honor for me to have, someone in my family with such a legacy. Like, it keeps the fire under my shoes really going and stuff. But you know what? Motocross, whatever, success, whatever. I was truly, I almost brought me in tears was last week when I got invited, as you guys know, to be the celebrity ride captain for the Ride for Dad, which is a ride here across Canada in support of prostate cancer. So, huge, big thing to my heart. I have a lot of young friends affected by cancer in the riding community and in my life, people I grew up with. One of my best friends, Cole Gerton, he passed away at 24 to cancer. It's gnarly. So the fact that I got invited to participate and raise money and awareness for this is that shows that's success for me, not trophies or championships or money in my bank. It's the fact that people want me and my presence and influence on the industry to be a part of something like this that makes me feel successful. And I invited my parents to come to the media kickoff, which was last week. And, we just kind of say a little speech, and we have all the local newspapers and radio shows involved. And I invited my parents, and they're the only parents there because the rest is all media and event coordinators and everything. But they were the proudest parents sitting at the table and in the crowd. My mom was up taking pictures and mingling and talking to everybody. And I honestly felt truly honored and successful being able to have my parents be a part of this and them watching their daughter, do something with the recognition and the name that you've built for yourself, for a good cause. It was the best experience ever. I loved it. And my parents felt like all their hard work and effort as parents truly paid off when you can actually give back to the community and your sport and the people. So it was cool. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I've actually realized I like to do. I like to be a part of the community and charities and things like this. So
yeah, well, I know I've had two moments like that. I know, just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I was eating lunch in a local, just a cafe, and had a guy come up to me, and my dad was there. Him and I were eating lunch, and walks up and says, "Hey, man," he's like, "I just want to say, he's like, we're small town Arizona. The only time we ever get in the news is when something bad happens." And he's like, "You're bringing, you're bringing our small community into the national spotlight because you air your show from here." And he's like, "I just want to tell you, you're doing awesome things. Thank you. It's definitely." Bringing a good light to our community where sometimes we don't necessarily get it. And that meant a lot because this was like a local businessman. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was it's kind of cool to, because online, like we've talked about it, I mean, 9 out of 10 things you read online are bad. And negative, and you get as much hate mail as you do fan mail, or if not more, and it's like, it's kind of cool to hear that once in a while, and and get that positive feedback and go, hey, I am doing something good, and we know we are, but it's kind of cool to have people tell you that. So,
you know what, and it's once you start to do something that's selfless and for the community or for a charity or for a good cause, man, it completely changes your view on who you are and what being an athlete means. It's so humbling and rewarding and gratifying, and it makes me want to be successful, not for myself, but to have a voice for other people. And I want to keep going and keep doing this so that I can do more for the community and be a bigger voice and, have more impact, not for myself, but for somebody else or for, for cancer charities and stuff like that. Like, really, it completely changed my view on what I want to do with my, with my name. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I know one of my favorite things I do every year is like the kickoff to off-road season here in Parker. It's one of the biggest races of the year. It's in my hometown. We always take the truck and we go to the local youth center like the Wednesday afternoon before thing. And literally there's like a couple hundred school kids, and I just sign autographs and give out stickers and things like that. And it's always one of my favorite parts of the year because these local kids, they just, being able to give them, all this stuff and get to see the race cars.
Yeah, you're inspiring them. The fact that they can come down and take a look at your cool ride and see your success sometimes can spark that, drive within these kids to be like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do this and take that career path. And that's what I love. And that's what I love about having my motocross schools is maybe we can give one of these kids hopes to chase this dream one day. So I love it. It's so exciting.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. We come back. We got Mario Bonfante calling in live from DirtFish Rally School. All that and more still to come on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, Mario Bonfante. He is there at DirtFish Rally School. How's everything going, Mario? I know, you're no newcomer to DirtFish, but I know from personal experience, anytime I'm at DirtFish, it's definitely a good day.
Oh, man, it's been a great experience the whole time we've been here. Just having fun sliding around and getting sideways, and always good to get with new instructors and learning new techniques. So it's been a good time so far.
Yeah, well, and I know last time I was up there, they were actually just, I think, finishing up the hand control car, and I think you've had a chance to wheel that. I mean, how was that car to drive?
It's a good time, man. This isn't my first. When I first got into it, it was my first time getting into actual properly set up rally car, and it was amazing to say the least. So I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see the personal controls that I've developed, but these controls that are in the car currently you're able to control the throttle and the brake with the one hand and then steering input with the other. So you're only able to drive at about 60%, I think, I'd say. But definitely still having a good time and just getting a feel for the new car and different setup other than I'm used to.
Yeah. Well, I know for a lot of listeners, a lot of them probably know of you. I mean, kind of give us your background, because I know, obviously you used to race motorcycles, and then you had some tragedy happen, and and now you've moved into the four-wheel side of things, driving some cars with the hand controls. But kind of give a little background on your story, because I think the story is really tremendous.
Yeah. So, I grew up racing my entire life. It's kind of what I've always wanted to do with my life, I guess you could say, chase your passion and make it your career. And I grew up racing motorcycles, started out on bicycles, graduated from motocross to road racing street bikes when I was 15, and got my pro license doing that when I was 16, and then prematurely graduated from two wheels to four when I was 17. So I actually got injured on a bicycle doing some dirt jumps, just messing around with some buddies, and ended up going over the bars, took a dirt sample, and so now I figured out how to do what I wanted to do. Basically, there was nothing on the market when I first woke up in the hospital, and they told me I wasn't going to be able to ride a motorcycle anymore. So I started searching Google and what everyone was doing and what was available to be able to do what I wanted to do. And there wasn't really anything out there to be able to control a car at a high precision, arena and weight. So I had to do with the technology that was on the market. And I taught myself how to use SolidWorks to do that. Figured out the ins and outs of, engineering and mechanical nonsense, and put them together and came up with a system that works pretty solid. So now I'm just working out the bugs as far as taking it to the next generation, Gen 3, to right now they're integrated into a BMW. So the BMW E46 that came with the SMG transmission had the clutch system and everything already all taken care of for me. So now taking them to the next system, I'll have a clutch and an e-brake integrated into the system as well. So you're able to actual steering input, throttle input, upshift, downshift, brake, e-brake, and clutch all with the same, both hands on the wheel, exactly, essentially.
Yeah.
It's been a journey for sure. And I reached out to the DirtFish guys last year and kind of told them a little bit of my background and a little bit of where I wanted to go in essentially with my personal racing career. And we started talking a little bit, and I sent them up a set of controls of the generic. They threw them in a car for me, and then came up and got to go fly around a little bit last year, and now we're following back up this year where we can go in the near future.
Yeah. So, obviously now you spent some time up there in some rally cars and proper rally cars with the hand controls. I mean, any chance you're going to try and adapt that and actually go out and try some stage rally stuff?
That's the goal. That's the plan here. So we're just slowly working on that. Ideally, I would like to get into a lights car and run GRC lights. That's my main goal. But stage is also one of the main things I would love to do as well. I'm just getting a feel for the whole rally scene, I guess you could say. I'm still new to the four-wheeled industry, and so I'm pretty new to rally as well. So I just actually today was my first day getting to go play in the trees up here at DirtFish. So it was my first real stage rally experience, and I'm hooked. I'm still buzzing from getting out of the car. So I think I see it in my near future, hopefully very soon.
Yeah, nice. I know you were out at the Mint 400 a couple of weeks back too, hanging out with one of my buddies. You're out there with Jonathan Swift, right?
Yes, sir. I didn't know you know Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan and I, our dads used to race against each other for the longest time. And, no, I know Jonathan really, really well. So, it was cool. I was just Insta-stalking you and saw you were out there at the Mint. I'm like, oh, dang, But, no, Jonathan, good people, definitely.
Yeah, no, that was amazing, man. Like I said, I'm still new to the four-wheel industry, and that was my second off-road race with trucks. And he actually threw me in the truck at the shakedown Barstow, and, man, that thing is impressive. Yeah. To say the least. I didn't have words for it. Just the stuff that we were going over and not even feeling it, and you're just not even thinking about hitting something the size of a car, and you don't even feel it. So it was pretty struggling, and just to have that experience, I think, was pretty cool to see his inputs in the wheel and just the whole driving from a driver's perspective, I guess you could say, and then respecting it from a mechanical side standpoint as well, and what the actual truck was capable of doing is pretty amazing. Yeah. So I had a good time.
Yeah, I know everybody up there at DirtFish, they've been trying to get me to bring my trophy truck up there for quite some time, just to go and play around and have some fun at it. And I got to do it at some point. I think it'd be a ton of fun up there. Obviously, it's a total different world, but I think it'd be fun to go play anyways.
Oh, man, for sure. If they're telling you to come do it, I'd be here too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing is it's like a day-and-a-half drive for me from Arizona all the way up there with a truck, but I just need to make it happen at some point for sure.
Oh yeah, we always pick up on the way. We're Midwest, so we'll come with you.
All right, nice. Yeah, if we make it happen, we'll definitely have to give you a shout. So what else is on tap for you this year? Obviously, you're up there at DirtFish. As far as competition and that, I mean, what's coming up for you?
A lot and a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this year's been very unpredictable and kind of up in the air. There's a whole lot of balls up in the air. Just kind of seeing which ones drop first and just going in that direction. So I'm hoping to get on track here with my personal road course car next month. And like I said, I'm still working on getting in this stuff. I got some new people on my team as far as management and PR and all that other good stuff, which I'm getting some traction and possibly getting into a GRC Lights car. It's not the season, towards the end, hopefully next year. And just trying to go as fast as I can, as much as I can, basically.
Yeah. Well, and I know you were out at one of the Red Bull GRC races last year as well, right?
I was. Yeah, no, I was a couple of, and I got to go for a ride with Tanner Witten at the SEMA last event of the year, so that was impressive. Those cars, what they can do is amazing. So I'm itching to get back in one.
Dang, I gotta say, man, you're building quite the repertoire. You've been in some trophy trucks, into some GRC cars. I mean, you're getting a pretty good feel for all different types of drivers, man. That's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, I can't complain, man. I definitely live a blessed life and have a lot of really cool friends. So it's been an awesome adventure, but it's far from over.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call into the show, and we'll definitely chat soon. But best of luck to you. Wish all my say hey to everybody up there at DirtFish for me, my family up there, and you definitely have to catch up soon.
Well, definitely. Well, I appreciate you having me on the show, and I'll look forward to it soon.
All right, thanks a lot, Mario. Awesome catching up with Mario Bonfante. He's up there at DirtFish, slaying some tires and throwing some Subarus around in that hand control car. And so it's awesome about DirtFish. Doesn't matter your skill level. There's a car for everyone up there. Hand controls. I mean, they work with just about everybody. They want to get you into a car, get you experiencing rally. Always a good thing. Great story there with Mario. Definitely give him a follow on social media. Always posting up some cool stuff, and you never know what motorsports events he's going to be out at. But now we're going to kind of move on, talk a little bit of Formula Drift. Coming up here after our break, we're going to have the Formula Drift post-event interview, our exclusive post-event interview. Fredric Aasbo is going to be calling in, your 2015 U.S. champ, world champ, just dominating, finished up on the podium at Long Beach, second place to Chelsea Denofa. But amazing start to 2016. Obviously, his run in 2015 won for the record books. But, just an amazing battle. Long Beach, great kickoff to the Formula D season. Your Final Four, obviously we had Aasbo Denofa, also had Odi Bakchis and Ken Gushi also in the Final Four. Looking at the Final Eight, some other notables, Forrest Wang, Vaughn Gittin Jr., our boy Vaughn, Ryan Turk, Matt Field. So that was your 8. Man, talk about an awesome round 2 matchup. We had Fredric Aasbo, Mad Mike Whittet. Great matchup there. Tyler McQuarrie and Ryan Turk. Turk getting the best of that battle. Man, just some great matchups. I mean, Gushi and Forrest Wang. We had Wang and Essa. Just not an easy matchup anywhere. I guess, one of the upsets, we had Jeff Jones knocking out JTP Justin Pollock in the first round, but an amazing event there at Long Beach. Just the course there, I mean, no room for error whatsoever. Tight concrete barriers. Rain coming down, messing up qualifying. Was just a tremendous event. Great kickoff to the Formula D season, and Formula D after Long Beach moves on. We've got Atlanta May 6th and 7th. Then we've got Japan. They go to a world round, and then we've got Orlando. Formula D comes into your area of the country. Definitely worth going out. Packed house, great crowds, and just some amazing car control and skill level. And, stoked to be a part of the series with our Formula Drift post-event interview. Big shout-out to all those guys. We're going to obviously jump into that here in just a minute when Fredric Aasbo calls in. But, it's always great to be a part of Formula Drift and one of the pillars of our show, one of the series that's one of the pillars of our show. So we're going to be back with Fredric Aasbo on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, after this break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and we're getting ready to kick off our first Formula Drift post-event interview of 2016. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, a guy that a lot of you listeners are very familiar with. We had you on, I don't know, Fredric, how many times last year? 3 or 4, I think. You were just killing it. We just kept dialing you in for interviews, buddy.
Yeah. We've been on air quite a few times, I think, so far, and it's always a pleasure, so I'm glad to be back. Here we go.
I know my girlfriends are very excited for you to come on. I know you're quite the ladies' man, so they're really excited for me to have you on because they've been keeping your Instagram.
Ladies' man.
So.
Well, thank you. Well, I tell them I have a girl. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm down in Carlsbad, enjoying life here in California, but I'm glad, people are chiming in and listening to what I have to say.
Sure. So I know last year we had you on, I think right after Dream Ride dropped, and then we had you right on after you took your first victory, and man, we just kept rolling with it, and then I think we wrapped things up. Man, you came off. I don't know if you can have a much better year. I mean, you went 4 for 7 last year. I guess you could have a perfect season, but I don't know, man. 4 for 7, you set the record. You won the first round, you won the last round, you won the World Championship, the U.S. Championship. I mean, how do you top 2015?
Oh, man, that's a really good question. Obviously, 2015 was huge. We won a championship, and that was my 10-year-old dream come true. And to be honest, this off has been interesting because I feel like I've changed. Now I've accomplished my big goal, and what do you do next? And I think for me it boils down to staying hungry, finding ways to motivate yourself to get at it, again. And what I did is I took time off from drifting. I traveled a bit, went to Hawaii, tried myself surfing, did other things. And what that led to is an increase, a big hunger for getting back in the game. So coming into Long Beach this past weekend, I felt poised and I felt ready. And despite everything that got thrown at us, I feel like we did pretty well and we're off to a good start.
Yeah, well, and I know a lot of people. You say that, and a lot of people have. I know me. The off season can be too long. It gets to the point where you just you're ready to get back in the car, and it just there's like you can have too much time on your hands at times. And I know some people tell you, oh, the off season's not long enough. You can always do more to the car. But I know as a driver, like if I'm out of the car for so long, it's like I'm ready to get back in. It's like let's go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's like Canada here having a full winter off season. We got about 4 to 5 months of 5 feet of snow, so I'm ready when the snow melts and time to get back on. But it's nice to take a little break because, like you said, I get completely recharged and I'm hungry, I'm excited and just want to kill it on the bike. So sometimes taking a little break can recharge your whole batteries.
Exactly, and I think part of the game too is finding ways to get back out there, even with the snow and the ice and all of that. And I guess with bikes it may be harder, but with cars, being from somewhere that has snow, or be it on the East Coast, Northeast, or the U.S., or in Europe, where I'm from, we have a lot of opportunities to go out there and put some studded tires on, go lap after lap in frozen lakes, play sim games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I when I came back to California a couple of weeks ago, I came straight from the Russian border, where we were driving super sports cars up ski resort hills and on frozen lakes and all that stuff. And that, to me, that's the best practice I can get. And I try and do as much of that as possible every winter.
Well, and how is that? I got to ask you. I know, if you were saying you've been driving some Koenigsegg's and that. I mean, how is that? I mean, those things have got to be a ton of fun to drive just in general. But you start throwing in some snow and ice and slippery conditions. I mean, that's is it hairy? Is it fun? I mean, how is that?
To be honest, Jim, it's really hard to top a full-fledged pro drift car with any form of street car. So I'm not saying I was disappointed, but it was definitely, it was really cool, obviously, to drive a car like that so far away from natural elements. But the cars I'm seeing today, I'm jaded, man. Nothing really compares.
Well, and I know your Rockstar Energy teammate, Tanner Faust. I've had him on here before, and he said the same thing. He's like, I drive GRC cars, I drive, Formula Drift cars for a living, and he's like, I do all these, I get to drive all these amazing cars with Top Gear, but he's like, it's kind of a step. He's like, I don't want to say a step backwards, but he's like, it's not the same. He's like you said, you're kind of jaded because you're driving some of the, the fastest and, and most performance-driven cars in the world, on a weekly basis in FD.
Exactly. And with the race car, there's no compromise, it's just the raw deal. And yeah, I mean, you gotta, if you really learn about the drift cars, they're pretty diehard machines. You go through a set of tires in about 40, 50 seconds. When you really break it down, you build 1,000 horsepower motor on wheels just to shred tires apart, and it's hard to match that with a street car for sure. It's amazing, how far the sport has come by now.
Well, and just in the past few years, I mean, what was it, 2010? You were Rookie of the Year. And everybody, I don't want to say you were the sleeper, you know what I mean? Because you were on everybody's radar, you know what I mean? But then you roll into this, last year and now all of a sudden you are the guy with a target on your back. I mean, how have you seen the sport change though? I mean, you've still got the veterans that we've always seen, Vaughn and Forsberg and Turk and those guys, but now you've got this whole new crop of drivers. I don't want to call you one of the new crop because I consider you a veteran as well, but I mean, there's so many talented drivers in Formula Drift right now. I mean, the top 32, there's not an easy matchup.
Totally. And if you look at this past round in Long Beach, there was a lot of new drivers up there at the very top. And like you said, it's a wind of change. It's, I think, comes down to that hunger. And it comes down to the new guys being forced to find new ways to do well. Whereas the older generation may, they're a little bit stuck in the old ways. Whereas guys like Kelsey DeNova, who walked away with the win this weekend, he was super aggressive. He played the offense instead of the defense. And I think that's the new breed of drifting drivers, and it made for some absolutely fantastic driving. So now it's really cool to be a part of a sport where everyone just keeps charging harder and harder.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's full on attack. I mean, I watched, for this interview, I went back and I watched, your final battle with Chelsea, and I mean, it was just a great matchup. I mean, and it's not like you made any major mistakes. It was just, that's what drifting's about. It's great to see, you guys going out there, door to door banging and having such a tight battle. And I think, you as a driver, you'd rather have that than walk away, with a victory. You'd rather it, when you get a win, you'd rather it be hard earned.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was, that was super fun. Chelsea and I are good friends. It was really cool to see him walk away with it. Did you see him flip me off though inside the car?
No, I didn't see that. No.
So that made for what's cool about drifting is you have all these stories and all the controversy. It's all in the spirit of the sport, but it makes for a lot of interesting things. So I think what happened is it started raining just before the final battle, and I had a little bit of a hiccup out of the last turn, and Chelsea was so amped up, he thought it was some sort of tactic. He immediately flipped me off inside the car. It made for a pretty cool GoPro capture.
Oh, nice.
But it goes to show how on edge we are. We're all amped, very extreme, and just we all want to take that win.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that being said, I mean, looking at this year, obviously you had some extreme success, last year that we talked about, but looking at this year, I mean, what's it going to take to stay up on top? I mean, everybody's gunning for you. Obviously, second place, your car and your program is still on point from last year. I mean, what's it going to take to win a championship, back-to-back championship this year?
For us, it's going to take playing on the offense all the way through the season. We did a major change this year, going to next-gen tires, and so far that's proved to be the right decision. And it's been what happened is next-gen came in, said, guys, we want you to work with us, and we want you to help us develop a new tire. As a team, and and a driver, that's exactly what we want. And they've been working really hard in the off tire to our respect and liking. This weekend we had 2 next-gen cars on the podium. My SR by Toyota, Ken, and myself. So we're gonna, stick to our guns. We're gonna go even more aggressive, and try and get even more aggressive than we were in Long Beach. We were still kind of trying at only 0.8 of our potential, I think, and we got to, to the next step, in order to be fighting for the title. But these guys are, they're coming for it.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, you talk about Nexon coming in, and I got to say, last year, Rockstar Energy signs on right at the beginning of the year for you. You unveil that sponsorship, and then you have the amazing year you had last year. Talk about hitting the nail on the head as far as the sponsorship goes. I had to be thrilled to death with you last year.
Right. That was amazing. And I think it proves how good of, a supporter and a team player Rockstar is. They do a lot for their athletes and teams. And, them coming on board gave me a lot of confidence just by, being allowed to rep their brand. And, winning the first round in Long Beach, the, hometown of Rockstar is obviously in LA. And, it was just a great start to the season. Even though we had a couple tough blows halfway through, we got it back together and got, a championship for them. So it's been a great journey so far. The team owners, Steph and I, we're trying to play this very methodically and try and really learn the sport. And, it's clear that we have a lot left to learn. That's what feels so good. Even though we won the championship last year, there's so much left to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, is there any other projects you got working this year aside from Formula Drift? Obviously, we're going to see it all the FD rounds this year. I know doing some global stuff as well, but anything else we're going to see out of you?
I may be in China for a little bit. That's yet to be confirmed. And I am planning a pretty epic road trip out in the mountains back in Norway. We're going to bring the race car out there, which is an FRS, 850 horsepower FRS. We're going to bring that, a couple surfboards, an RV, and cruise up and down the coast and shoot some epic mountain passes. Create some cool content, some videos, and this has been my dream project for many years. Has been to go on a drift holiday in my own country. So looking to that in August, and then of course, the number one goal is to stay at the top in Formula Drift.
All right, we got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We come back, we're going to wrap things up with your 2015 Formula Drift World Champ, Fredric Aasbo, right here joining Jim Beaver, Amy Houde on the line on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris Razor products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe, fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris Razor. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The hotel is waiting. And your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability. Tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here. We got 2015 Formula Drift World Champ Fredric Aasbo on the line. And I think as we went to break, Amy Houde had a question for you, Fredric.
Well, speaking about, capturing some dream footage, I had the opportunity to watch your dream ride video. Oh, my goodness.
Cool.
It's so cool. First off, can I please be that little kid in the passenger seat? Because I would have the exact same facial expressions. Just seeing how the video intro with this kid, checking out the car, wow. It's honestly exactly what every fan out there would probably be thinking about their dream ride and hopping in the passenger seat. But, I got to ask you, when is the next one coming out? Are you going to have one for 2016?
That is a very good question. And we are working on it. We have a few ideas that are being thrown around. Obviously, we want to do something with Rockstar. It was a really cool thing to get to do, number one. But we want to make sure we have the right idea, we have the right concept, get it right with number two. So for now, it's yet to be confirmed, but we have some plans in the making, so stay tuned.
Awesome.
It really reminds me of what X Games did with free ride, like having all these different athletes and their vision of what free riding is, and that's kind of the same feel. It would be cool to see a whole bunch of other drifters do something like this, because you really get to know the personality behind the athletes and the driver, and it kind of gave me the picture of what your life was like when you were a little kid and seeing these cars, and that's kind of the motivation that got you into it. Like that's you can tell a story, and I think it was really very well done. And wow, your videographer was amazing.
Yep. Well, yeah, we had a great crew behind us there, and it's cool to try and give something back, to the fans, and take, casual observer, really, and, give the ride of his life. So we're trying to do that a lot, even in real life. So back in Europe, I do a lot of speed festivals that are open drift festivals. 45,000 people come out. We take people for ride-alongs all weekend long. And it's, at the end of the day, being drivers, and you guys know this, being drivers, we're just a product of the people that believe in us. But trying to give something back to them is key, and it feels really good, and it's obviously a lot of fun seeing the facial expression, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that's what really sets you apart, and helps you, with your longevity in this industry, the fact that you're not just in to get a couple championships and titles and get out. Like, you really embrace the fact that you're an athlete and giving back to the fans and giving back to the racing community, and that ultimately is what's going to leave you with an iconic legacy in this industry. So, a lot of people got to follow that lead, because I see some people do it and some people not. So, you're doing it right.
Wow. Thank you.
All right, Fredric. Well, we got to wrap things up here on the Formula Drift post-event interview. Obviously, great kickoff to 2016 for you. And hopefully we can get you dialed in for a few more of these this year, after some victories.
Yeah.
You got it. You got my number, and we'll be going at it. I think me talking to you guys is a little bit of a lucky charm on my end. So, yeah, let's keep this streak going. And thanks for setting this up.
Yeah, I know. I got to get out to Formula Drift event, do some live radio out there, and come hang out with you guys. And I know, we've been talking about it for a long time.
I've never seen one, so I have to.
Yeah, we gotta make it happen this year.
You should come to Atlanta. That's a lot of fun. That's where people back their pickup trucks in. They drink moonshine all day and shoot rifles at the back of the trucks and have a great time. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you come out and swing by our pits. Maybe I could get to give you a ride along. That would be amazing. If not, I'd love to be out there.
Awesome, for sure. We'll have to do it at some point this year. Definitely. But thanks a lot, Fredric. Congrats on the podium, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Thanks a bunch.
All right, and we've got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde. We'll be back at you after this break.
Hey, I'm Mario Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde coming at you, and we've got a DirtFish Rally Report on tap right now, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. Want to remind you, Mother and Father's Day coming up. DirtFish can get you dialed in. Those gifts, nothing better than sending someone to DirtFish. But right now, in this DirtFish Rally Report, some big news coming out of the Ken Block camp. Obviously, we're getting ready to kick off the World Rallycross Championship this weekend in Portugal. Ken Block going to be there in action, debuting the new liveries that he and Andreas Backerud are going to compete in. And I got to tell you, these things, top-notch, beautiful-looking cars. Livery done by Felipe Pantone. And Ken Block always pulling out all the stops with his livery drops. And I know Ken personally, and he's a really artistic guy. So these definitely, definitely a lot of thought goes into them from not only Ken and the artists he chooses, but cars looking absolutely beautiful. That being said, we do have World Rallycross coming at you from Portugal this weekend, kicking off, and loaded field. Petter Solberg, Sebastian Loeb, Timmy Hansen. We've got the Volkswagen team. We've got Olsbergs running Fords. Olsbergs will be running Fords in Europe. They're going to be running Hondas in the United States. Highly developed chassis. Got Topi Heikkinen, Matthias Ekstrom. Obviously, Block, Backerud, Timur Timorzanov, Rainis Nittis. Man, it's just a loaded field. Going to be great action. You can find out more information on that at FIAWorldRallycross.com. And then we've also got Global Rallycross announcing the Phoenix track that's going to debut the season kickoff in May there in Phoenix. A mix of both tarmac and dirt, 2 dirt sections. It's going to be a good one. So that is your DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. We're going to cut to a short commercial break. We come back. Joe Duncan from Terracross going to be on the line with Amy Houde and I on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, joined on the line by Mr. Joe Duncan from Terracross. How's everything going, Joe?
Things are great, Jimmy, Amy. We're just back from beautiful Crested Butte, Colorado.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know I didn't get a chance to make it up to Winter Terracross this past weekend. I know I did last year, but how did things go up there in Crested Butte?
Yeah, we had a great time. We had F Motorsports out of Texas, and 6 guys come up from there, and they had an absolute blast. Having these Texans in the snow is a pretty big hoot. Watching those guys try and get around out there, it was pretty amazing. We had the crew from Montana down, Billy and Joey, who race Best in the Desert and do some short course stuff up that way. So we had them coming from all over for this one.
Yeah, well, how was the track layout? I know last year it was an awesome track. It had a lot of rallycross feel to it last year. And I know, obviously, you've worked with Red Bull Global Rallycross, a ton. But, it had a big rallycross feel. How was it this year?
Well, actually, the track that we originally set up didn't work for us. Remember last year it got really cold at night, and the track set up nice and hard. We pretty much could run most of the day. Well, this year it never got cold enough at night, so we actually built an amazing track. Actually, same location we had ran last year that you were on, and it was bigger and better than last year, but it never got frozen, never got hard enough. So we ended up going to the top of the mountain where it was colder and had more ski traffic, and we ended up doing a great video and movie shoot of the whole Winter Terracross, and all the guys just loved it. It was so fun. And you thought we had some drifting and cool stuff last year. We added in some of the ski hill snowboard jumps into the mix, and then some drifting and some whoops and some big turnarounds around the chairlifts. And it turned out to be an absolute blast, probably as fun or if not funner than last year. And the guys just had a great time.
Yeah, well, and I can attest to that. I've told everybody, like, literally the most fun I think I've ever had in a RZR was last year at Winter Terracross. Like, there's something about when you mix a RZR in the snow, like, it's just a blast.
Think about how much fun we had last year, and this year we had 6 turbos out there. And those turbos with that extra little oomph of horsepower and that extra fun factor, if you will, those things made a difference, and they could pop up on the hard track and really could rip around the snow and make that drifting feel. You could break the car loose when you wanted to, and it was a riot. The guys just had an absolute blast up there. We got to go for a trail ride, basically 3/4 halfway up over halfway up the mountain, and did a bunch of fun driving up there, and then had a fun little run back down the hill. And, yeah, they had a great time.
Yeah.
I think Winter Terracross would be my calling, coming from the land of the north and snow and cold. Just having some ice racing experience and snowmobiles and everything, and, playing in the snow pretty much 9 months out of the winter. I think Winter Terracross would totally be up my alley.
Amy, that's right up your alley. And what a good time. And we're working on next year's game plan, and it looks like we'll probably have at least 2 Winter Terracrosses next year, one in Minnesota and one back out at Crested Butte. Dates are coming. We're working on that right now, but we've got I think we got our course kind of figured out, what we can do, what we can't do. We got drivers that really want to come, and we've kind of kept it on the DL for now, and now we're going to actually pull off a minimum of 2 races next year, and we got some pretty fun stuff in the works for it.
I got to say, awesome. I got to say, Joe, I think I would love to take a RZR, and I know you're involved with the Red Bull Snow Boundaries event. I'd love to take a RZR on that course. Now, that would be fun. Let the sleds have at it, and then when that's all done, bring out the RZRs and let them go, because then it kind of turns to a little bit of muddy mess mixed in with snow. I think it'd be perfect.
Well, off the record, nobody heard this, but we did some testing on that last year after Red Bull Snow Boundaries, and yeah, you're on the right page, Jimmy, and you'll see what's coming.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, but that course was a blast after we got it chilled out and some rollers put back in, and it was a riot.
Yeah, that'd be a ton of fun. You could get, that being that longer course, 11, I don't know what it was, 11, 12 something miles. I mean, you're going to get, you got a mix of short course there. The desert racers could come out. I think it would be fun. Obviously, we're just brainstorming here, but yeah, I think it'd be a ton of fun if that could all get put together somehow.
Yeah, we did some testing for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. So what else is on tap? Obviously, you got I know you're heavily involved in the snow industry. Obviously, snow's starting to melt. The Ultimate Snowmobiler is now in the books. So now, focus 100% on Terracross, right?
Summer Terracross. That's the main focus. We've got the CBS Sports Network deal. They actually, we got all the airings coming, the actual air dates and times, which usually we don't get until like 30 days beforehand. So that's all being worked on right now, and once we have that, we'll get our release out, our official release out, and working on our schedule. Houde's the 50th anniversary, looking great. Lots of cool things in the works for that to kick off the 50th anniversary, and then the rest of the events are all in the works, and got some pretty cool things. I've been on a bunch of trips in the last 3-4 weeks, and all working on partners and locations for this year's Terracross. And when we get to announce them, it's going to be a pretty cool deal and a pretty special season for us at Terracross.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been asking, hey, when's the schedule? And I said, I don't know. I said, but I know I have an idea of what's working. And I said, I think everybody's going to be really excited when it does drop. But you mentioned 50th anniversary Houde's, and I'm sitting here going, man, I was at the 49th anniversary Houde's, and it was pretty wild. I can only imagine how nutty the 50th anniversary is going to get, buddy.
Oh, well, put 50 years of snowmobilers together and get to celebrate it. So it's going to get a little crazy with our new classes and our new schedule and with what they have coming to the table and some special event stuff that we're working on for Houde. It will be one great event, whether you're racing it, whether you're a spectator, whether you're a vendor, it doesn't matter. It's going to be one great time at the 50th for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? This year was last year, I guess, was my first time ever at Houde, which is funny because, I mean, I'm just your neighboring province north of you guys in Minnesota, but that was my first time ever at Houde. I've heard the hype. I heard how cool the event is and how much stuff is there to check out, but honestly, for spectators or people who have nothing, no involvement in either Terracross or snowmobiles, oh my goodness, what an event. It was probably the coolest thing I've ever been to. Like, there's huge pits and vendors and things to look at and check out, from the drag racing to the Terracross and the pit parties and everything. It was one of my favorite events I hit up last year. So you guys can totally check it out if you have no involvement or are totally stoked on snowmobiles. It's one of the events of the year, for sure. It's one of those ones you do not want to miss. So.
Yeah, that's the great thing, Amy, is people like yourself and Jimmy, and when people come to this, I've been involved in this event for over 25 years now, and I know I'm not that old, but I've been involved for over 25 years, and it just keeps getting better and better, and with the addition of all these other events and all these great athletes now that are coming, it's truly just an event. It's not a snowmobile event. It's not a race event. Yeah. It's not a swap event. It's everything. And for the general
they have
consumer, yep, exactly.
For sure. All right, Joe. Well, I know we gotta let you go. We'll do it again next week. But got anything you want to leave us with before we chime out here?
No, just if you want to check out some of the winter Terracross stuff, it's at terracrossracing.com or Terracross Championship on Facebook or the Ultimate Snowmobiler. Go check it out. And there are great photos from the Rimshaw Snowmobile Hill Climbs as well. The Hill Climb event from Rimshaw was amazing. Dennis Dermis and Dan Lochnicker put on one great event for us out there at Crested View Mountain.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate it, my friend. And we will be back after this commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, just done with Joe Duncan from Terracross. And I got to tell you, Amy, it's getting mighty warm in the studio here in Arizona. I'm thinking about dusting off my wakeboard and heading down to the local cable park and taking a jump in the river this afternoon.
No. I mean, I would still have to probably wear a full snowsuit to jump in any of our lakes.
Yeah.
I think they'd be frozen.
Yeah, right. You'd be lucky if you actually hit water. Oh man, yeah, that's what's crazy about this show. Just the logistics behind everything. I know. I was thinking the other day when we did our interview with Toby Price. I'm like, technology is pretty darn amazing. Like here, I am in Arizona. You're in Canada.
Yeah.
We got Toby Price in Australia, and we're all doing an interview together. And I was like, it truly is pretty amazing. When you think about it, that you're actually able to do that, and literally for just a few cents. So.
Yeah, no. Cool. It's cool how shows like this bring the racing community all together from all over the world. It's pretty outstanding if you think about it. But yeah, that's the cool thing about the Down and Dirty Radio.
Yeah,
we have friends all over.
Absolutely. That being said, we got to talk some Supercross.
You know it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best races of the year. I don't know. That's the easiest way to put it. I mean, Supercross, it's definitely shaping up to be. Obviously, Dungey is just on another level.
Yeah.
But there's some guys gunning for him, man.
Yeah, man. Indy is probably one of the most iconic Supercrosses. They used to have the bike show in Indianapolis. It's just really, really cool event. And obviously, this weekend, like no other, the track was insane. It's probably one of the gnarliest tracks so far this year, just how it shaped up the ruts and how rough it got, and it really made for some interesting racing and some tough battles out there. But, again, 450 has kind of been the same every weekend with Dungey, Robson, and Anderson. So not really much to talk about there. The track conditions really did play out, some good battles between Roxon and Dungey again. And got to give it up to Jason Anderson. Solid third-place finish. It's really shaping up for a consistent 450 overall championship, kind of like we predicted. Unfortunately, we wanted a little bit more, battle to the finish, but you can't take it away from Ryan Dungey. He's having such a solid, consistent season. You can't take anything away from the guy. He's just on fire. But, man, 250 East is just insane. Before we talk about my man Shannon Audette, which we gotta lay down the law and talk about him for a little bit. But before that, man, 250's put on a show. Aaron Schlesinger, kind of coming off a rookie season, he's still considered a rookie. Pulling the win out last on the weekend, I gotta hand it to him. I love Aaron Schlesinger personally. He's such an amazing dude, great personality. He's one of those guys who's friends with everybody. Great sportsman, and him and Malcolm pulling off a dance party after his win. I love it. They put on a show. They know how to do it right. They get the fans and the crowd pumped up. But, man, did you see that dance party?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I got to ask you, we got to talk Stewarts. Now, obviously, Malcolm having a great run. Poor James Bubba Stewart, man. This guy can't catch a break if it was in front of him. I just, I don't know what to think at this point. I mean, what is it now? Like a sprained ankle or something like that? I mean, just poor guy, like literally.
Honestly, I love James Stewart. I was rooting for him. My whole family was rooting for him this year, but I really think that he is all in his head right now, that all of his accidents and slip-ups and, his bad luck have been from his head game. Whatever he's playing around up there, he's not in the right mindset. He's making dumb mistakes. It's usually when he's all alone, riding by himself. So, I mean, the poor guy can't catch a break. And I don't even know what to say other than I just feel bad for him. So,
yeah, I'm with you. I think it's all in his head. The guy can still ride. There's no doubt. And people that say, he needs to retire. Go back to Red Bull Straight Rhythm less than a year ago. 6 months ago? I mean, he dominated. He's still on point. But like you said,
that shows what your head game can do for you. Yeah. Honestly, it's 50-50 or even like 60-40. It's 60% your mental game and 40% your physical game, as you'd like to say, how ready you are, your bike setup and everything. But if you're not going in mentally prepared every weekend and every day you wake up, you're completely gone. James Stewart dominates Red Bull Straight Rhythm. He knows he was going in with the benefit of the doubt and the advantage, if you will. So, he was comfortable and confident. And, it showed. But going into Supercross with, being off for a year and having such a kind of a negative stigma on him, I think that totally messed up his mind. And it showed. And that really does show what your mental game can do for you. And I say it all the time at my riding schools to my friends. You need to be not only physically ready, but mentally ready. Racing is a huge mental battle that can eat you alive. So if you're not mentally prepared, you sometimes it takes you away from the game. So unfortunately, that's the way it is for him. But I don't know what he's going to have to do to get back on there. He has so many things against him right now from that the drug charge and the from the fans. Like he has a big fan following and a big negative, almost like hate crowd following him too. Just people who don't even know what they're talking about against James Stewart. But the man is still a legend, and he has a huge legacy, and I think he'll still always be one of the best. So I hope he can figure it out. And he's a gnarly outdoors rider, so hopefully he can put it together for outdoors. I am rooting for him, and I know there's a lot of people, who knows what they're talking about racing, who are rooting for him too. A lot of these young guns who have no idea what they're talking about, kind of follow the sport for the fun of it, they're the ones that you see kind of hating on James Stewart because his talent, his style is definitely something that can't be knocked. So I hope he can figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. It's just sad. I mean, but like you said, I think you look at the I don't want to say top 5, but you look at like the top 10 riders of all times. James Stewart definitely fits into that. I mean, you look at the top 5 riders of all times. He may actually slot into that.
I mean, Bubba Scrub, the battles between him and Ricky back in the day. He was still one of the gnarliest, most aggressive. One of those guys who found that 7th gear I talk about all the time. Like he used to be able to turn it on and off whenever he wanted to, but he made for the best racing in Supercross I think we've ever seen. Back when there was the younger James Stewart who just threw it all out there, hung it out, crazy style. He was the whoop master. I mean, the guy was gnarly. And I think he's matured a lot as a rider as well, but there's something going on in his head, and I don't lose my love for James Stewart because of that at all. It's something that athletes struggle with, and I think we got to be a little bit more compassionate and understanding because, we want to see him back on the top of his game. Like, he makes the racing industry what it is, and without James Stewart, I don't think there would be the level of competitiveness that, there is today. So he's definitely shaped the game as well, so.
Yeah, for sure. Completely agree with that. Definitely.
Okay, but before we don't talk Supercross anymore, I need to throw a big shout out to my buddy Gannon Audette, who finished on top of the box as a fill-in rider for Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. But funny story, back in the day, I even have a photo of Gannon Audette on his 50 because we used to go down to Minnesota. He's a local Minnesota boy. I used to race in Minnesota every weekend back in the day. And in the winter, I'd race Staples Arena Cross. It was or the Moto Dome, I guess back then it was called. But I raced every weekend with Gannon when I was on an 80 and he was on a 50. And he was a little ripper back then, but he was also a little butthole. One of those 50 kids had a little attitude, but it's funny because years later, I saw Gannon when he, moved up to pro class, and wow, he completely did a personality change. One of the most genuine, kind-hearted, good dudes out there. But you know what? The guy I've seen him, from an 80 progress, move up through the rankings year after year after year, and he had a struggle when he moved to Supercross, but he kind of got the opportunity of a lifetime to fill in for Arnold Tonis on Mitch Payton's pro circuit team. But I gotta say, way for him to get it done. Like, the guy stepped up when he knew he had to, and it was his time to shine, and he got it done, finishing his best career finish at 3rd place overall on the box. Man, that is awesome. That's what I like to see. Like, that is some, underdog hero coming through. Oh, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked for dudes who get the opportunity and get it done. Like, hopefully this is kind of shines a light on how his future in Supercross can really be, when it just goes to show what, the support of a factory team, the confidence it can instill in a rider, and what it can really do for them. And that really did prove it this weekend for Gannon Audette. Yeah. So congrats to him. I gotta say, I just had to throw it out there because I love the kid, and it's cool to be able to see him grow, for 20 years to where he is now. So.
Yeah, that's digging deep. That's when your back is against the wall and you get an opportunity and you reach out and you grab that opportunity and run with it, And if he would have finished 15th, nobody would ever even know his name at this point. But guy puts it on the podium, when he's backed into a corner, and guarantee you he's going to get a factory ride going forward. That's what it takes to make it in this industry. When you get that opportunity, don't let it go. So
and stories like this is what every kid dreams of. And it's stories like this that, his success and him being able to do it and put it together and get on the box just gives other athletes the confidence that, hey, I'm going to bust my butt year after year after year, and that could happen to me. And it's people like Gannon Audette that everybody else in this industry, amateurs, look up to. Now Gannon is the guy to be, and everybody wants to be him and wants to, follow in his footsteps. That it just goes to show that your hard work will pay off. You just stay consistent and you persevere, and then it can happen to you. And you stay humble, because another reason, Mitch Payton ain't going to give that ride to, pardon my French, but an a-hole. Gannon is a good dude with a good personality, and he is always smiling, and he's always happy and positive, and very grateful for everything that kid has. And it just goes to show what an attitude like that will get you. So,
for sure.
Hats off to that kid.
Hats off to him for sure. We're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Come back, Amy Houde and I answering your questions. Be sure and shoot those at Jim Beaver 15 during the break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The hotel is waiting. And your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability, tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and just got done talking Fredric Aasbo, Joe Duncan, talking some Supercross, and I'm going to go into some of your fan questions here that I guess I've gathered over the past week, and always one of my favorite parts of the show. Makes me think out of the box. I don't know about you, Amy.
Yeah, same here. I'm really getting thrown on the spot, so.
Yeah. And, those of you want to ask questions, obviously Twitter's easy. Direct message me on Instagram, direct message me on Facebook. I get a ton of direct messages on Facebook. And then use the show website. We get a ton of content through there as well. So any which way, you can shoot them to me, Amy, whoever, and we will definitely get them answered on the show. Got a couple of questions here. Number one, though, it keeps with the Supercross theme of things. Will from Arizona, Arizona local boy. I don't know who you are, Will, but definitely got to give a shout-out to you. But this one's kind of geared towards Amy. I'll chime in on it as well. But do you think Supercross will ever change tracks and get super creative with different wooden features and ramps? I don't know if he's, like, talking about, like, I don't know, like, I guess wooden ramps, like I don't know. I mean, I know Endurocross gets creative with their stuff and brings in different features and containers and things like that. I mean, I don't know if he's talking like metal freestyle ramps or like wall rides like X Fighters is doing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've got the over under, like the bridge that they do once in a while. That's wooden, right?
You know what? I don't think they'll ever move in that direction because, Supercross is very iconic. It's also very dangerous. So, you got to really consider the safety aspect right now. We are talking 75-foot triples out of a corner. If you throw in a wooden ramp there, you're mixing kind of fuel with fire. I think that Supercross is dangerous enough as it is right now, and I don't see it ever moving in that direction. I think that's something more geared toward Endurocross. Now Endurocross is a very big series, and they have all the wooden ramps and kind of very unique sections incorporated in that style of racing. But I don't see that ever kind of going in the Supercross direction. If anything, I think they're going to be kind of mellowing things down a bit, like how things used to be about 10, 15 years ago. Because right now, I mean, even the riders were complaining last year that the tracks were way too gnarly. And you've seen them very much so this year mellowed down quite a bit and not as gnarly, because there was a lot of scary crashes last year and a lot of big get-offs. And this year, I think the track designers are doing a fantastic job keeping, each and every weekend the track's nice and safe and consistent. And they are throwing in lots of different terrain, so sand sections and those wall sections that we talked about. But I think it's more so the dirt that will shape up the different track techniques, like, also having the Daytona outdoor style, and this weekend in Indy, the softer soil is made for really rough and rutted terrain. But I don't think any weird obstacles like that. It just throws off the whole idea of Supercross, which is, basic style and track design and layout. I think you throw something like that in there, it just gets a little too gnarly. So
yeah, I agree. I obviously they use wood or whatever they do for like the bridge, when they have, the tunnel where they go under. But yeah, I don't see them coming in. And one thing you gotta think about, this goes to Will or and whoever else, is thinking this, like when you crash on dirt, I don't want to say it's soft, but it's softer than when you crash on wood. Like wood, I mean, is like concrete. I mean, because of the bracing, you know what I mean, that they have to land. And trust me, I mean, I've wrecked bicycles on box jumps, falling 10 feet out of the air, 10, 15 feet out of the air, and it hurts. I mean, and dirt, at least it's a little forgiving. I don't want to say very forgiving, but there's a little give to it. It's kind of like you see in the NFL and, these football players, when they have to play on AstroTurf versus grass. Grass is hard, but there's a little give. AstroTurf, where there's concrete underneath, there's no give whatsoever. So,
and Supercross is still a lot different than outdoors. You got a lot looser terrain, and Supercross, I mean, those jumps are hard packed. Jeez, I got a bubble in my throat there.
Yeah.
Supercross is really hard packed, and I mean, the tough blocks do as much as they possibly can, but right outside the track and off that, rhythm section, you got concrete. You got a concrete base, and last weekend, one of the riders went right through the tough blocks and landed on one of the metal barricades. Did you see that? He happened to be okay, but he went nose flying right off the track, whiskey throttled over a berm, through a tough block, and landed on his gut on a metal railing. Jeez. How gnarly is that? Yeah. He was completely fine, thank goodness. But, Supercross is very, very dangerous. And knowing a couple of the riders personally, and they have shared a common thing that, they're scared when they are doing track walk. If you ever get the opportunity to do track walk and you go up one of those faces of those jumps, you are like nose to dirt. They are straight vertical, and it's very intimidating. Riders often say, like, that's why you see some riders are very good outdoor riders, and some, and then they struggle in Supercross. They say that Supercross is very, very gnarly, and you have to commit, especially when you're coming out of a corner and you got a 75-foot triple, right out of the corner. It's all about commitment, and it's all about overcoming that fear, and it's a very scary game,
Yeah, those ruts were gnarly at this last one too. I think Juliana Daniel, she posted up something to Instagram, her standing in like the ruts on the face of a jump, and they were like literally knee deep. It was insane.
Yeah, but once you start getting the ruts on the faces of the jump, that's when things get very hairy, Yeah. You got to really be consistent and smooth, and you got to have impeccable line choices. I mean, a big thing my dad taught me always when I was younger is line choice. We'd always do track walk at intermission or anything on race day and outdoors, and we would go and kind of see how the lines were shaping up and really, really master those line choices. It's important, and it's very, very key. And you don't want to come off the face of a jump and hit a lip wrong and, go flying butt over tea kettle. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. Next question. We had Beth, lady listener. I like it when we got lady listeners. She's from the UP in Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Says she was out at Snowdrift Rally, loves stage rally. She said was basically cutting to the chase. She was watching or listening to Rally America online, the one at 100 Acre Wood. Saw Travis Pastrana got the win over David Higgins. Wants to know if he's got a chance to repeat at Oregon Trail or if this was a one-off. And I guess this would be in my wheelhouse here. But I'm going to tell you, Beth, I saw both Pastrana and Higgins. I know them both personally. I get full access at Rally America events, like motorhome access to these guys because of what I do, and I get the access nobody else does. And Pastrana was mentally exhausted at the end of the rally. Literally, he just looked at me and he's like, Jimmy, I have never worked this hard in my life. David Higgins was mentally exhausted trying to chase down Pastrana. And I got to say, I mean, Pastrana will tell you, and I love Pastrana, but Higgins is still the better driver. But every dog has his day. Pastrana definitely had it at 100 Acre. But I'm going to tell you, moving forward, they both have the same car now. Before, they had different cars. Pastrana had the second car to Higgins, and it was always a year older. They're bringing the same gun to the fight this time, and I think you're going to see some battles this year. I don't think Higgins is going to run away with any of them. I think it's going to be great, and it's going to be good for anybody that's a stage rally fan. So
that's exciting when you can pair, the vehicles where you have, you're kind of battling against the same thing. No one's at a disadvantage, because then the athlete truly shines, and there's no one else to there's nothing else to consider rather than individual ability, and that's what I like. That makes for great racing and a good show.
Yeah, well, and I know Pastrana last year, he wanted the same car as Higgins. Higgins got a brand new car last year. Before that, they always had the same car. But these cars, we're talking $750,000 builds, and I think from what I understand, the Vermont Sports Car and everybody said, hey, we will build you a car that's the same as Higgins, Pastrana, but you've got to commit to more than one round a year. And so Pastrana's like, all right, I'm all in. And so they went and built him one, and now Travis, he's ear-to-ear grin every single rally, But should make for some great races. I know we're going to get Amy out to one of them this year, maybe the Minnesota round or something like that. That's always a good round. But, definitely got to do that. All right, we got one more question here, and, man, you and I get long-winded on these things.
I know. There's so much to talk about.
Sam from Greensboro, North Carolina, are you guys going to start covering other kinds of racing? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're going to stick with what we know. Not saying that once in a while we won't have somebody from somewhere else that ties in with what we do. But I think we're pretty happy covering off-road drifting, supercross, dirt bikes, snowmobiles. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with what we're doing. How about you, Amy? Yeah,
no, definitely. And I mean, under especially like the two-wheel division, it's not just motocross and supercross. I mean, we got buddies like, our Abbott, Destry, and Cooper Abbott from Endurocross, and we got, people from all over. We got the freestyle guys, which we had on last weekend. Two-wheel segment, there's a lot to cover, from freestyle to enduro to moto, supercross. We're going to hopefully do some cross-country and GNCC and everything, desert riding, whatever. I mean, if there's somebody that you guys would like on the show, let us know. We'd be more than happy to try to get them on for you.
That's not saying if we didn't have the opportunity to interview a Valentino Rossi or something like that, we're not going to take it, but I'm just saying it's, if it's a little out of our wheelhouse, we're probably not going to, cover it fully like MotoGP, but if we had the opportunity to interview one of the riders or something like that, we're definitely going to do it. It's just, I
love MotoGP. And
I do too.
A good friend of mine, James Foley, who is funny. I think we met through the internet, like Facebook, because he started flat tracking and he was number 71. And I'm like, oh, buddy, what's up? We got the same race number. Yeah. And we just kicked it off, and we were great friends, and he actually brought me to the Daytona 200, and I brought him to the Daytona Supercross. But now he's over in Europe racing the British Superbike, and it's super cool. He was always on, I think he was on a Kawasaki or something. I'm not too familiar with all those bikes, but now he's on a Yamaha, and he's also his British Superbike, so his sports bike is the classic, the 60th anniversary Yamaha Vintage Edition, and he is repping his original number 71 again. So we have like matching bikes. So we've been talking about doing a collab or something where, like, James loves riding moto, and that he's been really trying to get me on one of his sports bikes. So now that I, got a sports bike of my own, we're going to collab and do something together where, we have these matching bikes. We're going to show up and go ride together and make a cool video for you guys. But, I love road racing, and it's very, very thrilling. I actually had the opportunity to go to a MotoGP at Road America. It was awesome. Oh, actually, you know what? It was Circuit of the Americas. So it was outstanding, the rumbling and how those bikes sound. And I know there's a lot of Supercross athletes. I know Chad Reed loves MotoGP too, and I think he's been trying to get his little guy into road racing. So it's exciting. There's so many different avenues, motorsports. There's so many talented athletes all over, and it's super cool because they all cross. I mean, a lot of the, you see the Travis Pastranas get into rally, and these MotoGP guys love flat track and motocross. So it's cool that everybody dabbles in a little bit of everything. So there's lots of crossovers.
Yeah, that's the same same with the four wheel side. I mean, and I'm an off road guy, but I love doing the razor stuff. I love rally cars. I mean, to the point where. I haven't really been public about it, but I've kind of inherited a rally car, so I'm probably going to start doing some of that. And Formula Drift.
You're going to take me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to have a co-driver, right? What I got to do is I got to send you to co-driver school up with Rhiannon Gelsomino or somebody, or Natalie Richard. There's a Canadian for you, and my friend Jen Horsey. I got to send you to co-driver school is what we got to do. I just love any of that. Formula Drift. I mean, I've driven, I've done a lot of karting. I just love road racing, like anything four wheels. Like, just because it's out of my wheelhouse doesn't mean I don't appreciate it and don't want to try it. It's just,
Well, that's the thing. I think us motorsports athletes want to try everything. Like, not even if it has an engine. Like, I love snowboarding, wakeboarding, skateboarding. I was a big skater kid when I was a little girl. I tried to be Avril Lavigne.
You Canadians all wanted to be Avril growing up. I can see it.
But I'm an adrenaline junkie. I like anything that's extreme, goes fast, or I can break a bone doing. I don't know why. That's who I am.
That's me. I mean, I'm looking at new downhill mountain bikes, and I know Renner got me dialed in on a 26-inch I take to the skate park and do some jumping, and my daughter and I, that's a big thing we do together, dad and daughter time at skate park. And, it's I like anything. Like I was talking about, Wakeboard Island. I'm going to go down there and wakeboard. If it's not today, sometime this week, and jump in the water, and I'm sure it's still colder than heck. But, just adrenaline stuff. I mean, that's just it, That goes back to the original question. I've had professional wakeboarders on the show before. Like, even if it's out of our wheelhouse a little bit, we'll still, if it's a friend of ours or something like that. Like, I'm not saying we're never going to have a professional BMX rider on the show. Like, we're not going to focus on that. But, if they're a friend of ours, they're close or local, or they got something big going on, heck yeah, we're going to dial them in for an interview.
Definitely. And also I love to share people with awesome personalities. If there's somebody that we can, introduce to the rest of the world and our listeners and our fan base who are just a great athlete and all around awesome dude, by all means, I'd love to. So. Yeah,
for sure. All right, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com. Get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, wrapping things up. And as we wrap things up, I got to give a shout out to our friends over there at Nitro Circus, getting ready to kick off their, I guess, North American tour. I guess part 2 did that back the fall and the winter. I know Amy and I both had the opportunity to go out, and I don't know, anybody you listening in, if Nitro's in your area, go. Like, just go. Even if you don't have the money, put the tickets on your credit card and go. I'm telling you, it's and it doesn't matter your age. I mean, my daughter, she absolutely loves going to Nitro Circus. Dad, can we go see Uncle Tommy and Aunt Jolene? You know, it's like, Dad, when are they going to come back? When are they going to come back? You know, it's one of those things, like, you just go, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy. It's a good show, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, did you end up watching that video I sent you with Pastrana front flipping the quad?
Insane, man. It was like, I don't even, that was not a 75-foot gap, Jim. That was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
That was gnarly.
Like, it was so far, and it made with that big old quad and that tiny little foam pit. Like, I'm looking at that going, like, the precision to land in the pit was so, like, I mean, that was threading the needle.
Dude, he must have hit at the bottom of the pit. But, hey, speaking of videos, did you get the chance to watch my very first episode of The Babe Cave, which was Graphics 101, how to put your fresh creative graphics on your bike?
I got a chance to watch it. I think you and Michelle definitely killed it. Super impressed with her on camera. I think, I don't know, I think you got a new superstar in the making there, Houde.
Yeah, Michelle's awesome. And I'm really stoked for this series because it's easy, fun ideas. And you know what? I've been getting a lot of engagement from the fans, which is exactly what I wanted. People messaging me, sharing their graphics after they did their first set, or kind of telling me stuff that they want to see. But today I'm filming how to load your bike up for short people, because, I mean, there's some tips and tricks for, us smaller girls or guys out there, kind of what I do. And then also on Monday I'm going to be dropping the full video, which is going to be your basic bike setup when you get a new bike, a brand new bike off the showroom floor, or a new bike to ride for the year. I mean, there's 5 basic things that you guys really want to make sure that you do and get done before you go for your first ride. So, I'm stoked. Every Monday we're going to have a new video. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you're talking about how to load your bike for short people. You know what? I don't even know why I've thought about this. We need to come up with. I got this new brand for you. It's going to be called Amy Houde Moto Steps, right? And we're going to have. It's going to be a step for short people who need a step to get on the bike at the gate, and we'll make it out of all stainless steel so it doesn't rust, and we can make it really trick with all this like dimple dye holes, make it look really fancy. Stamp your name on it and sell like crazy.
man, I either use like a cooler, which falls over, or my stand, which kind of sucks because you gotta take your bike off the stand and somehow get it over to your truck. But a step would be awesome. But there's so many people wonder how to put your bike. I mean, all I got is a Ranger. It's not a very high bike, but for those girls who are driving big trucks, F-150s or mega cab, there's some tricks that you can learn how to load your bike up without having to ask the cute boy at the track. This way you can impress the cute boy at the track by being able to load your bike up by yourself. So stay tuned for that video. That one's just going to be dropping on Friday. It's just a short little funny one. But again, every Monday, a new episode of The Babe Cave will be out for you guys.
Nice. Definitely looking forward to that. I don't know. I know I learned a lot from the graphics, seriously, because I do a lot of the graphics on my truck. A lot of the stickers after it gets wrapped, that I have to do secondary. And I learned a lot. I've put on some graphics on Razors and dirt bikes, and I suck. So I seriously...
that tip of cutting down the middle works for anything. Every kind of plastic, just being able to center and work one side at a time really, really, really helps. And I learned that from my dad. Obviously, anything that Kim Houde says, he's been around for 60 freaking years on a bike. I think this guy knows a thing or two. So
no, that trick specifically.
I'm learning are kind of passed down from generation to generation. So
yeah, that trick specifically, I saw that and I'm like, oh, this makes a ton of sense. So yeah, I guess if we take anything away from this show today, when Kim Houde says something, you don't argue with Kim Houde. Kim Houde is gospel.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, we got to give a big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, DirtFish Rally School, MTX Audio, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Fredric Aasbo. We got Mario Bonfante and Joe Duncan who called in today. Man, we got Supercross coming up, Lucas Oil Off-Road, Rally America, World Rallycross this weekend. Don't forget Nitro Circus Tour kicking off. We got Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame nominations open. And R.J. Anderson and Polaris Razor just dropped a new viral video series. Check that out, as well as Amy Houde's new series. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. Amy Houde is at AmyHoude71 on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow, DownAndDirtyShow.com for those back episodes. Give us a download of our app on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And Amy, I know you've been posting a ton to your Facebook page recently. I don't know, what is your Facebook? I know I follow it, but what the heck is the address of your Facebook?
Oh, it's just Amy Houde. So it's my fan page. There's an Amy Moto Houde, but that one's kind of closed down, and I'm trying to push everybody over to just my Amy Houde fan page, our athlete page. I'm on there pretty much every day now with plenty of people hanging out, but also check out my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/OneLifeAmy.
Awesome. Well, we are going to sign off. I know we have some massive guests the next month. We're going to be cycling into the show. Definitely looking forward to that. I know next week we're working on a pretty stellar lineup. So I know one is solid. The other one we're working on, but we'll see if we can make it happen. But lots of good shows coming up.
Heck yeah. Well, you guys, I'm loading up. I'm going riding.
All right. Sounds good. We will see you guys next week here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. As always, game on.